Hey there, Pioneer fans. Welcome to the LIU Post Football Report. I'm Rick Rosetto, joined by the head coach of the Pioneers, Bryan, and redshirt sophomore wide receiver, Shane Hubbard. The Pioneers are 0-1 to start the season after a 43-35 loss last Saturday to East Stroudsburg University. They take on the University of New Haven in their Northeast 10 Conference opener this coming Saturday, September 13th. So, Coach, rain delay. Not what you want to see for a football game, obviously. Going into that rain delay, the team looked so good, had a great start. Then coming out of it, just a little bit flat. What was the biggest reason for the flat start out of that rain delay, do you think?
Well, since it happened, we had a lot of discussions with not only our coaches, but other coaches in the conference and other coaches that have gone through that. We've gone through it once before, back in 1999. I think it's just a difficult thing. I think the winning team at that point in time does have a disadvantage because you're really not making that many adjustments. At that time, we had momentum offensively. We were doing very well. Defensively, we got some key stops. So you're really not going to change that much what you're doing because you're having success in what you're doing. You just try to predict what they may be doing coming out of that delay. And obviously for the losing team, you have nothing to lose. You're going to kind of make your adjustments that you need to make during that time because things aren't working for you. So we did lose a lot of momentum. We're not using that as an excuse, obviously. We need to come out prepared and ready to carry out the game plan and perform as coaches and as players. But certainly I feel that the momentum was going our way. I think it would have carried on to a victory for the Pioneers. Unfortunately, we dealt with nature, and we didn't handle it as well as we should have.
Shane, from a player's perspective, what was that rain delay? It took almost more than an hour. So what was that like for you as a player, your mindset going into it and then coming out of it?
I never experienced anything like that, and I think a lot of my teammates haven't either. So we kind of didn't know what to do. We were just like laying around. A lot of us was cramping up. It was just like a really bad experience. I just trying to adjust to it and come out and play, but we got to do more to win next time.
Coach Steve Lorino had a nice game at the quarterback position. There were a couple of passes there that were picked off that, from our vantage point in the press box, he maybe shouldn't have thrown or they were off his back foot. Obviously, you're a redshirt senior quarterback. You're a coordinator on the field. Were you disappointed in some of the throws that he made, or were they good throws that just hung up there on him?
No, I'm not disappointed with the way he had played. Obviously, I think he gave it his all. He gave it best effort. He competed right to the very end. Didn't get discouraged. Had a very nice drive to bring us down to certainly a potential tying score and 2-point conversion. One of the balls was into the wind, floated a little bit on him. The other one was under pressure, maybe threw off the last foot. But I thought it more as just trying to make a play. At that point, I could see the throws in some of those areas, but certainly either had pressure inside of him or the wind conditions, or in some cases, sometimes you just miss him, and that's just the way it is as far as a quarterback. So certainly, he's our guy. He competed very hard, competed with great effort, and he'll come back and prepare himself to win again.
Steve threw 2 touchdown passes, one to Kyle Ward and one to Shane. Take us through that touchdown, Shane, for you, because obviously you had a great game, really. 10 catches, 142 yards, and the way that you maybe manhandled that defense, let's say, and moving around and making them miss tackles was something that I think Pioneer fans were very happy about. So take us through your game and the touchdown as well.
My game was kind of a reflection of my preparation, you could say. Like, I was really prepared. I was ready to. It was my first college start, so I was really excited, ready to play my heart out. And on that touchdown play, it was actually a run play. Steve changed it because the corner was playing inside, and we knew we could beat him on that play because I was more athletic than the kid. So it was just very exciting to actually score my first college touchdown on my first start.
Now, Coach, we talked about this earlier in the preseason that you said Shane Hubbard, it's his time. He sat behind Joe Body. He's learned the offensive scheme. Shane Hubbard currently leads the Northeast 10 in receptions and is second in receiving yards per game. After 1 week, I'd say that's a pretty good start for a guy that's coming off the bench.
Absolutely. Shane had prepared very hard, as he said. He worked extremely hard in the offseason, worked hard not only physically but also in the mental game, and puts in the time and effort after practice, and the results show. He's an outstanding player for us, a program guy, and couldn't be more happy with his progression to this date, and hopefully he continues to grow and get better and bigger and stronger and keep making those plays. I think that's one of the key part is that it wasn't just running around catching a ball that was well thrown. I think Shane did a great job of making plays, making tackles, tacklers miss and getting into the end zone.
Now, Coach, let's talk about your defense. Obviously, we know about Dan Belfiore, how he was at the nose tackle. Kenny Scotland, 2 sacks, but some of the newer guys that came in, Jaleel Oswald led the team with 11 tackles. Richard Wright had an interception early in that first half. The newcomers that came in, were you impressed with how they handled that first college game atmosphere, or did you chug it off and say, they practiced hard in camp and I'm not really shocked by it?
No, you always want to see how they perform out there, and that's opening day crowd, the dedication to the stadium, all the fanfare that was going on. I think it was a very good atmosphere for our team to play in front of. And I'm sure a little difficult for some of the newer guys to play. And Richard Wright, as you said, as a true freshman coming in and playing, I thought he had an effective game. Certainly showed us signs of what he can be. Jaleel and all those things. We just have to temper him down in the backfield, get the calls in, calm him down a little bit. I think we had some blow-ups in the backfield, some mental errors and some open blown coverages. And those are the things we're working on hard this week. We're trying to lessen the game plan a little bit just so it's more consistent with making them feel comfortable. And hopefully we continue to get better each week with our effort. And, we're going to have a great game this week.
Shane, let's focus on that New Haven game. How do you keep up your hot start? What's the preparation that you've been doing in practice this week, getting ready for the Chargers on Saturday?
Watching film, knowing what they're going to do before they do it, getting myself mentally prepared to know what I have to do in certain situations. That's what it all comes down to, knowing what you got to do before you actually do it.
And Coach, last question about New Haven. Let's break them down a little bit. Brand new head coach for them in his first season. Brand new quarterback, really, Joey Bradley, who's been there before but hasn't really had his chance to start. They're a team coming off of a 5-point loss to the number 10 team in the country in Westchester. You've seen the film. You've seen kind of what they do. What are the things that you're looking at for your team to kind of neutralize on the field on Saturday?
I think New Haven's a very fine football team. Watching them play Westchester, I believe they outplayed Westchester. They went through their own rain delay there, but they had some mishaps on special teams. It shows you the importance of special teams. Block punt and a miss punt snap. So they took advantage, Westchester, of New Haven's mistakes. And New Haven has an explosive offense. Their quarterback looked like he stepped in and understood what they're trying to do. Sometimes it's a little bit easier with a newer staff coming in and being a new quarterback. You're all learning the same type of system together. Outstanding skill players on their offense. Defensively, they have some good kids on the back end and their secondary, and they're pretty tough and big up front. So I think it's going to be a competition where we're going to have to rise to the occasion. Our special teams are going to have to play well. I think it's a three-facet game: offense, defense, and specials. And obviously that's where we want to approach it, is to win every victory on all three of those fronts.
He's the head coach of the Pioneers football team, Bryan Collins, with redshirt sophomore wide receiver Shane Hubbard. Come out to Bethpage Stadium on Saturday, September 13th, as the Pioneers face conference foe New Haven at 1 o'clock. Coach Shane, thanks for the time, and best of luck to you guys on Saturday.
Thanks, Rich.